Greetings and salutations.
Caught it. Good morning, guys. I am Sam, and this is the Morning Mayhem Show. Gonna be a good day. I caught the muted mic before I did 5 minutes monologue. Stay with me this morning, guys. We have a lot to talk about. I have a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about regarding the show specifically and period. But hey, look what I woke up to this morning. Is this crazy or what? Is that nuts? I mean, everyone had their Harleys out. People are getting tanned. I've been wearing sandals for like the last 2 weeks, and we woke up to this morning. How crazy is that? Anyways, not a huge show, but a big show, and mostly just regarding how we proceed from this point forward after prayer and meditation. I mean, lots of prayer, lots of meditation, listening to God, and gonna make a few changes. As you guys see, there will be no more super chats or super stickers, and I'll explain why I did that and what we're gonna do to move forward. Again, I am Sam, and this is the Morning Mayhem Show. I'll start to respond.
Good morning to the chaos we ride.
So when I get texts, my own ideas.
Wake up, Sam, he's reborn again. One step forward from where he's been. Turn up the noise, flip the script today. Lights on, Sam, we've got dues to pay. A world on fire, but the winds still blow. This is Morning Mayhem, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody. It is good to be alive this morning. It is so good to be alive, except for my little munchkin's got kind of a lump on her throat right here. So we had to keep her home from school today so she could go to the doctor, and that bums me out. It like freaked me out. My wife seen the look in my eyes when I felt her throat. She's like, "Hey, will you come feel this?" And I felt it, and I always overreact, and sometimes that scares Hazley because I freak out. I mean, it's literally like what's that movie with Ben Stiller where he goes call 911, call 911. I think that's that movie, where we have a bleeder, call 911, call 911. That's pretty much how I react to everything Hazley related. So it's pretty crazy. So I'm just gonna kind of like just babble for a second while I wait for more people to get in here, so I don't have to say things twice or answer any questions twice, I guess. So yeah, we're just gonna just kind of chill. Are we still on for Sunday? Oh yes. Lord Kiss Freak is going to join us for Night Yard on Sunday, I believe. So that's going to be awesome. Sorry if I have gotten back to you in an email. I haven't even looked at my emails while I was took my day off. I did for on a couple quick little things, but No, that's for sure happening Sunday. So that's going to be awesome. So looking forward to that. Laura May, what are you saying? Her body will be fighting infection correctly by gland swelling. The body is working on it. Awesome. That's good to hear. We're still going to take her in, and hopefully she's okay. I'm sure she'll be fine. Yeah, I am looking forward to Laura Kiss Freak being on the show too, and I'm going to have a special Kiss treat for the show. Gene Simmons, being who he is, won't let me play like any Kiss content. I mean, I don't care if it's him sneezing and wiping boogers on a camera lens. If he's done it, it's monetized, and not only monetized but copyrighted to the hilt. So, and I'm sure Lord Kiss Freak will agree with me on that. Him being as big a Kiss fan as I am, I would like to say I'm a bigger Kiss fan because, Kiss fans like to say that. I've been in the Kiss Army probably since 1976, like a full-fledged member. I mean, I haven't, paid any like membership fees or anything like that probably since 77 or whatever we did to join the Kiss Army. I'm sure my parents took care of all that. I did have a badass brass Kiss belt buckle for the longest time. And I wish I still had it. It would definitely be a collector's items. It would definitely be a collector's item if I still had it. And financially where I'm at today, I would probably sell it. Probably. You guys are probably like, well, why'd you turn off super chats and super stickers? That's a whole nother banana wax. What does that mean? It just means it's a whole nother banana, a whole nother ball of wax. Jamie Palmer. I'm just going to take a few comments while I'm just here chilling, waiting for more people to get here. Comment, Sam, it's been difficult the last few days. Lily, one of my fur babies, passed away 3 days ago. Oh my gosh. Took her to the mortuary 2 days ago. Now I'm focusing on my last fur baby, Bella. Wow, Jamie. I am so sorry to hear that. That is hard, and no words can describe. I can't even begin to think what it's like to lose someone that you count on for compassion and comfort and yeah. I mean, I don't know your entire situation, but I sometimes the little fur babies is all some people have, that's present in their life, and so to lose one is probably super difficult. So sorry about that. Yeah, lots of threes for her. No ones, just threes. And we're doing the threes because it's the closest thing to a heart, right? The top of a heart. Perfect, Titus. Sam, something is really pulling me towards your friend's picture behind you today. It's like she's highlighted right there with you more than usual. It's beautiful. Yeah. Isn't she? It is beautiful. Let's see if I can like zoom in on her a little bit. There we go. Yeah, she is. If she was alive today, she would definitely be on at least on one show, if not every other week. And it's crazy. I never even thought about that. Like what if she was alive today? She would definitely have a presence with me on YouTube, as I wish my wife had more of a presence with me on YouTube, and hopefully I can convince my wife to do some stuff with me here pretty soon. I know she's down for it. I know she's totally down for it. We just have to just get organized and kind of look like the Shaggy DA. Remember that movie? We just need to sit down and do it. We have the technology. We just need to do it. And really what it comes down to is space, because we kind of want to have a couch where we could both sit on with boom microphones. And that's really how we want to do it. Oh, I hear him leaving. Hold on real quick. tried to yell outside for him. But yeah, she's gorgeous. Thank you for commenting. Yep. It is beautiful. Actually, let's keep her zoomed in a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, there she is. Cool. Perfect. What else is going on in the chat while we kind of wait for some people to come in? So, yeah, everyone, please smash the like button. That's all I ask of you. You don't even have to subscribe. I'm sure most of the people here, well, actually, if you're in the chat, you are a subscriber because I turned that function off. Not that I was having issues or anything, but just to protect the community and to give the mods a little bit of a break. I am going to have a meeting with the mods here pretty soon of where I'm headed with the channel. I mean, I'll talk a little bit about it right now. I might be going down to just having one mod unless the channel grows and keeps growing. I don't know. I want to hear how they feel about it. And I'll give my reasonings for that. I'll just Sam-splain the shit out of it, right? And yeah, so I guess I could get started. I just thought I want to say good morning to everybody that's here. Karma, Wine a Little Bit More, Nicole, Grateful 1111, Kim, how are you? Jamie, Zelda Z, Lord Kiss Freak, Ruth, Shell W, Shell Dub, let's call her Shell Dub, Laura May, who else? Where is Ruth M? Did I say Ruth M? Kathleen Menzies. Where is James C? Heidi, Gaylin, how are you today? Oh no, I said kiddo, yeah. Tan Louise, how are you today? Elizabeth S. Perfectitis. Miss Scorpio Rising. Miss Scorpio Rising, were you on the 2%er from Boston podcast with me yesterday? Or like in the chat yesterday? It was just like us two. There was a Scorpio, someone in there. It was just me and her. Heidi, I think I already said good morning to Heidi. That's what I get for going backwards. I see Mischief is not here. That's okay. Lacey Silver, how are you today? Emotional support Canadian. I need an emotional support Canadian today. Then me, where I announced I will no longer be accepting supers of any kind. I know on the replay there's still like a thanks that I've left up. Well, I haven't turned it off yet. I might leave that one on because it's not you can't do it from the live. It's just a replay thing. For like if people like watch the content and decide like, here, that's cool. That way it's a donation made specifically because of the content and not from something I've said or anything like that. And I know you guys trust me. I mean, at least most of you do, or have most of you have said so, and I really appreciate that. And I want to keep that trust, and I don't want to, and I want to be transparent with everything. So I'm going to be a little transparent of how I've been feeling about the show, about the community, and just about YouTube in general, and on how YouTube operates. And like, look, there's bigger channels out there than me. There's smarter people out there than me that have probably thought about these exact same things that I've been thinking about. And I don't know how they handle it. But I just know how I feel I need to handle it. And it was hard for me to do that, to turn those off, because I mean, I've talked about it. I'm in a transition where I am really broke. And now that I have those off, I feel like I can be honest about that. Do you know what I mean? And I can be, and so that I don't have to like do like a little self-deprecating joke, like, oh, my first sad fish, I feel like with those turned off, there can be more honesty with me and our community, and that I don't have to worry about it. It's just like how I feel about other creators. I'm not going to do content on other creators, but I want to be able to comment how I feel and what my experience has been about with other creators that I know some of you still support, like Marissa, Relatable Reese. I have some certain feelings about that, about the way she talked about me behind my back. I gave her an out and said, yeah, she's being egged on by Tommy, but I don't know that for sure. I seen one text when I really thought about it. Tommy had sent me a ton of screenshots of her talking smack about me, and him and himself, but I had blocked him before he had sent those. And so I never got to read them. But the one I did read, it was shitty, and she admitted it. But I think she admitted it because she knew I was going to find out about it. And so there's that. And it was after I had already pledged support with her regarding the video. And it was like a last minute thing. It had already been a week, and it was like a last minute thing. And she was telling me, she's like, oh, Tommy has something on me. I know he does. And she was super scared about what he was going to say. And she was like, I don't know. And that's when she started like saying, that's when she did all that content about like, I'm a really terrible person. You guys have to know that I'm a terrible person, because she was so worried about what he was going to disclose. And you know what? For the things that she said about me, when people were looking at me and saying they were my friend, and you know what? I push back on that. I'm gonna have a little pushback on that, and I don't trust you. And I mean, we haven't talked really since because of that, and because I've chosen not to. And really, I think just one chat where you were telling me not to give the recording to anyone. I'll give it to whoever the F I want to give it to. I'll play it right now if I want to, so it's just one of those things. And so I just want to say that, I haven't wanted to say that because I was worried about losing subscribers, losing, the possible super chat, so, I could, make a living at this. But after prayer, I realized that if I'm going to do this parasocial thing, and after a wonderful email from a viewer, and he knows who he is, and I appreciate you so much. I was already in a super funk, and especially after the 8.5 hour podcast we did for Mischief Managed the other day. I was already funky before that, and I was funky after that, and that's why I took the day off, and so I could talk to God, and like really try to focus on what do I want to do with my channel, and what do I want to do with this community. So really, I'm going to talk about God the way I want to talk about God without offending anybody. Like, I'm not going to try to convert anybody. It's still going to be the same me, but I'm probably going to be talking about God a little bit more when I really want to, and not inhibit myself or filter myself when I talk about God, or water it down so I don't offend any atheists or agnostics out there that would leave it like, oh, this is just a God channel. Well, if you think it's a God channel, then yeah, you probably, this isn't the place for you. I'm not gonna like just do only Christian content, but I don't want to be I don't want to have even a little bit. I don't want to give even a little bit of doubt of who I am spiritually. So I guess that's what I'm saying with that. And Kim, I know I'm not offending you, my sister, my rainbow sister. I know I'm not offending you, and it's not really, I'm not really talking about you specifically. But if I could show you guys emails, when I just talk about it a little bit, and they're respectful for the most part. But anyways, I don't want to get into those. So, but yeah, and also politics. I know those are two big things, but like there's been a few Trump things I wanted to cover, and one of them has been anti-Trump. Just a negative thing of how I feel about Trump right now, and I didn't want to do that because I didn't want people to think that I wasn't a Trump supporter, because I am. And so just a lot of things, and a lot of it revolves around of how I was gonna rely on super chats and subscribers. And I guess how I feel now about it, and how I've always felt, is that I want to be authentic. But I want to be authentic and uninhibited. So that's where I'm at with that. I can't please anybody. And also I think without having the super chats and super stickers, that'll I don't know. It'll just, hopefully it'll take away the any of the possible grifting doubts about my channel. I want to earn it. I'm probably going to earn it with some affiliate marketing here in the future. Where I have like ads in my other videos, not the morning show. Now, I might do like where I talk about something, like, speaking of not sleeping good, here's, Wonder Pillow or something. That might happen in the future, but I'm going to just be a part of the YouTube partner program. Try to make the best content I can to get thousands and thousands of views, to get paid that, $5 to $15 for the 1,000 views. And that, I think that's going to help me. I think the show will grow and get better just from me being more prepared with each show. I think I've been like unprepared, and I've rushed shows before, and not being fully, not have like all the knowledge of a subject I'm talking about. And it probably shows. I flounder a little bit about the subject. It's because I'm in the back of my head, I was always concerned about, offending anyone, or not offending is not the right word, of pushing anyone to hit that unsubscribe button. Well, that's a wrap. I'm going to do the show that I would want to see. And hopefully there's a ton of people out there that would want to see it too. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. And then the things with the mods, I think the biggest thing is I love the mods that I have right now. They're amazing. I just don't want, I don't want to have to, I want to be responsible for anything that goes on in the chat. I know I'm going to have at least one mod on every show. So the mods I have now will probably remain, because I know I at least have to have at least one mod in the show in case anyone is in the chat going, that becomes super racist or makes super homophobic remarks. So I know I have to have moderators. But I don't want to have to not babysit the mods, but like when there's issues, I don't want to like have to like, like I have to like be a mediator between the mod and the subscriber, and backstage. And I know that's all part of doing the show. I don't want to hear it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the mods and this is all kind of just coming to me as I'm talking about it. But I think what I'm going to do is just have some super set rules. That way I don't have to, and more rules than just like the 3 I have. That way, if anything ever comes up, if the rule was followed, then the subscriber will be in the wrong. Like, so like if the mod follows the rule to the T, then there's nothing I have to worry about. I'm sorry to the subscriber, but that's the rule. If you don't like it, then unsubscribe. Yeah. And you can go on other platforms and talk about how big of a piece of shit I am. I don't care. So anyways, that's really basically it. That's really basically it. Now I do reserve the right to turn on the super chats and the super stickers in the future, down the road. But like, I really want to give this like a year of this format and what I'm going to be doing for content. I want to give it about a year and see what kind of growth. I mean, it doesn't have to be overnight super growth. But as long as I see like a certain percentage of growth, that's what we're going to do. And what I'm doing to make up for the financial loss, and it's not a big loss. I'm not getting like Reese type super chats or super things, but it will be a loss. Like, I mean, it was like last month was probably $900 in super chats and super stickers. I mean, that's my car payment, my truck payment, insurance, and the cable bill and the Wi-Fi bill. So, I will have to replace that in some other way, and I'm just going to have to tattoo more. So I'm just going to figure that all out that way. And, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Hey, Woofy just popped in to say hello. Sounds like I need to watch this from the beginning. Yep. Shardy. Yeah, I know that, Kim. And that's why, and that's basically what I'm saying. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I just seen your comment. I never thought you would have gotten that from your group here. Yep, I sure have a lot of it. Thank you, everybody, for all the kind comments. Thank you so much. What was I going to just say? When I first started the morning show, and I had conversations with Brett. I was like, I've always wanted to have super chats and super stickers. You only need a 500. And he was like, oh yeah, that'll boost your CPM up, blah, blah, blah. I was like, and I said this, and I was like, but because I'd seen like some grifting things about Reese. I'd just seen something about Reese grifting, like doing like sap fishing, and was just seeing what that was about. I don't know if it was on Maryland's or I don't even think it was Maryland. It was somewhere else. It might have even been Reddit. Yeah, I think it was Reddit that I had seen that. And I was like, I go, yeah, but like wouldn't it be hard for us to talk about our like personal stuff without it seeming like like we're like begging for money? And he was like, oh no, he had this explanation, and I was just like, okay, yeah, cool. Like, no, they want to give, they have it to give and they want to give. But you know what I'm finding out? I'm finding out that no, there's a lot of people out there that don't have it to give. And sometimes they give because they just want to, maybe it might be like me, like I'm a people pleaser, right? Like I give a lot, out here in the community. I say yes to almost everything, out here in my real life. And then that might be someone's, issue too. And they feel like, you know what, I know I don't have it, but I'm just going to give it because, I want to see my name up there, and I want the community to see that I'm supporting, this guy that we love or, or like a lot, and I don't want there to be any of that. No way, Jose. I do not want there to be any, not even one mistake of $1 would I want someone to give that didn't really have it to give. And I know a lot of people are like, well, no, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't give it. I know a lot of people that's the case, but I do feel, and it's by conversations that I've had on the phone with some of my viewers, about just like what they're going through in life, and who I feel the kind of people that are on YouTube that use these communities for like support, moral support. So I know a lot of you are on fixed incomes, and because you're not out there working, hence you're able to like watch, content during the day, kind of like me. That's all I do now too, is watch content during the day. But I do have, my tattooing job. And so I don't know. I just don't want there to be any mistakes like that. And I don't want there to be, I don't want to be able to not talk about what's going on with me in my life. And do you know what I mean? Because there's been a couple times I've said something and you guys have stepped up and like, bam, here you go. And I was like, oh, that's not what I was asking for. Thank you. I'm gonna use it, but and Linda included. Everyone say hi to Linda, because she's, most likely watching. So, all right, guys, if you need to phone a friend up north, then you wouldn't have to worry like that. I'm going to, Kim. I'm going to. No, I'm not being called out at all. No one has called me out, Natural Ginger. I've never, ever, ever been called out. No, this is me calling myself out. And maybe I'm making the wrong decision, but that's just how, after like just meditating and praying on it, I just felt like, God will provide, and that's the way it is. I do have the normal, like before you get, before a channel gets monetized, I do have in the description of my channel, like how you can have links, on my homepage of my channel. there are ways to like donate money to me, like the things that everyone has. I do have a donation link where it can be just a donation, and it says that's exactly what it is. And you even like check a thing like that. This is a donation only to be used. However, the channel, I do have that I would use even if I wasn't monetized. I just don't want there to be anything directly connected to not only the morning show, but to a chat, a parasocial relationship between me and the audience. I don't want there to be any money tied to that directly. If someone wants to make a donation the other way, then there's like some steps you would have to do to do that. And it wouldn't be just a spur of the moment decision. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be just like, oh, I'm a super chat, oh, I'm a super sticker, money that maybe someone doesn't have, or because of something that I had said. Like if it's something I'd say and you would want to help, then you would have to do steps to do it. And maybe by the time you got to that final step, maybe you had thought about it more, and that's not something, you know what I mean? I just want it to be, and this isn't me Sam-splaining or me like overthinking it, that this is how I want it to be, and it's the way it's going to be. I need to make sure that if it is given, it's given with forethought and not with just on an instant feeling on something I said. There you have it. Tomorrow I'll have a show like, hey guys, turn back on super chats. I really, really need to pay my insurance. Just kidding. That won't happen. Is there anything we can watch besides this lovely snow? Let's go take a look what's going on out there in YouTube world. I did watch a funny video on a platform I had never ever even heard of. It's called BitShoot. Never even heard of it, and I signed up for it. I have a channel on it now called Inside the Mind. I haven't put any content up on it yet, but yeah, it's this channel or this platform. It's called BitShoot. I guess it's an English thing, and I guess you can have a little bit of more free speech. This is something that it was published by Skytail, the Neo Slayer. So Skytail, the new Slayer, the new Slayer creator. And it's about Tommy Scoville. I can't show it on here. First of all, I don't have permission to show it. Second of all, he couldn't show it on YouTube, so he put it on this other platform, but it's called Scoville, A Second Chance, a parody. But it's just got some I mean, I watched it probably 4 times. It doesn't look all that bad. And I'm also his first subscriber, so that's pretty dope. But he does have his normal channel on YouTube and on this thing, and I can never pronounce it right. It's like Thomas McGunderson. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if it's in my. Oh, here it is. Thomas Mu Anderson, the Neo You Soul. I'm sure I'm destroying that, but yeah.
That guy, fuck that grifter,
Let's
fuck
see
that
what,
grimace. Friday on Thursday. Let's just jump right into it. So old Toots,
See what
old
Night
Shomo
Porter
Toots
has to
himself.
say
Now,
today.
thanks to Marilyn, me and a group of other people, the FTG guys have the paperwork Yeah. It's as bad as it was let me take that back. It's as bad as it sounded when she did her video, but if you haven't seen her video, there's court transcripts from his sexual assault. Not a statutory fucking anything. No, not statutory shit. Sexual assault with violence. Held the girl's arm back.
You
Held her by
guys
the
want to
back of her
watch the
fucking
rest
head.
of this?
A
Go
real
over
piece
to
of
Knife
shit.
Order 2.
Now, his new motto with his limp dick self is the harder they fight,
You
the
might
harder.
say some things that might get this video demonetized. And since I have turned off super chats, I need to be completely careful. It sounded like a good idea at first, but yeah, go ahead, Knife Order 2, and check that video out. Hit the subscribe and like. Oh, there is a and I'm going to be joining the ladies. Where's my share this time?
Some pictures. Look at that.
And so we are continuing the fundraiser today. It's going to be a little more organized.
That is
Story
that,
behind
my,
it?
yeah, that's that little guy
ladies.
is George.
Oh,
And,
kind of looks like
You've known him not long, huh? He's looking curious. He's curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
He's kind of famous because he was smuggled over here in a bowl on a lady's tummy.
Oh, I have to turn.
Oh
off.
my goodness.
She snuck him on the plane acting like she was pregnant.
Oh
Um,
my.
I need
Wow.
to make sure I have.
What happened if it started chirping or whatever they do, screeching or whatever?
It must
How-
be
how
pretty
would you-
little.
He was
Did you say
drugged.
she had gas? I'm sorry that I'm pregnant. It was just gas.
Gotta
Yeah,
be careful with these
But
days.
he ended up at my friend's primate rescue. So
Aw.
little George.
I'm just checking my
Aw.
email, guys. Just go ahead
Okay,
and
we got next one.
Big George.
Oh,
enjoy those
kitty.
pictures. I think that those
Aw.
are
That's when I was rescuing
Mischiefs.
cats, which was always a bad idea
photos.
because before you can blink, you have like 27 of them.
Yeah.
But
Ask our friend Joel
Here.
McCoy about that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I've done it twice just to make sure I learned my lesson.
Nice.
Mm.
Another kitty.
Aw.
And that's Larry
Are you crocheting or knitting? What are you doing?
crocheting.
Oh, yay.
Look at your nails. So pretty.
I know. Beautiful.
I'm not going to show them to you now because I've been hacking at berry vines.
Who's this kitty? What's
Nope,
her
I guess I
name?
don't. I was not.
It's Larry. My
I thought I was
husband
supposed to go on
named
there
him
today,
and
but I
his
guess I'm
brother
not.
after the Hollywood bank robbers.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah, if
allowed,
you guys want to
he's
go
not
over
allowed
there
to name
and
things
check out
anymore.
live stream, it's with Susie, Marilyn.
Oh, look
Uh,
at
And
that.
that's my first grandson, Dylan. That's
Somebody,
back when I
George,
was
somebody,
babysitting him while my
Mistress,
daughter was in school.
Stacy,
He's
and
he's
the
in
Hep.
college now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. So, anyways, there's a lot of Diddy news going on. I guess there's been some on some lawsuits. There's been some lying that has happened with some of the lawyers and the victims, where it was a money grab. That's not saying that he hasn't done all the things that he has done. And I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, here we go.
We have a new lawyer on the case. It's Young Thug's lawyer coming in as one of Diddy's lawyers. But most importantly,
start
breaking
this
news, what I
over.
want to tell you about right now is docket number 233. It appears that
Oh, no, I
Diddy
don't-
is trying to put the trial off for 2 months. Okay, so if you were here on Monday, I did discuss this on the live hearing. There was a surprise
they
pretrial
did do a
hearing
motion
that we
to
had for
put
Diddy,
the
and it was
trial
just
off. It
that
was
very
supposed to start
day
May 5th.
that the judge said, okay, everybody got to come in
Or
today.
14th.
That was 2 days ago. Well, there was some secret sealed letters filed that day, and it had to do with victim 4. If you missed my coverage, you can go back and watch the live stream, or you can watch, I did put together about a 10-minute video of a recap of the high points, and it's the most
I
recent
want to
video I
watch it.
posted
I
over
haven't
here, so you
seen
can check
this
that
yet,
out.
so I
But
want
the
to watch
breaking
this for a
news
second,
right
guys.
now has to do with the fact that Diddy is exercising that previous warning / perhaps maybe threat to put the trial off. In that pretrial hearing, that sort of
Yes, I
last minute
have.
hearing that took place on Monday.
Yes,
Now
I
there's
have.
another one coming. There's another
I
pretrial hearing happening on Friday, the 18th. But
I
in
want
that
to go see it.
hearing
I didn't
on
know it was only
Monday,
on
the
only
judge
for a
gave
week
Diddy
though.
and his lawyers only 2 days. He said, "You have 48 hours to tell me whether or not you're going to try and push this trial
Hey,
off for 2
Hosanna,
weeks."
Dana.
Diddy and his
Grateful
lawyer were
11,
saying that
Surviving
something to do with
Together.
the evidence about victim
James
4,
Collins
who
Cares.
I believe, to my recollection, is the forced labor victim, alleged victim. This forced labor alleged victim has recently given over some
That's
WhatsApp
right, Darcy's.
messages, some screenshots,
And I
screenshots
appreciate that.
of some WhatsApp
And
messages
if
to the
like if you could hit the
feds.
like button every
Well, the feds are
time,
saying the WhatsApp
that
conversation
really
is not in their
helps too.
possession. The only thing they have is these 3 text messages, these 3, screenshots. Well,
Check out
Diddy's
my
lawyers,
previous
Agnifilo in particular, are saying, well, that just won't do. We're going to need 2 weeks. We're going to need 2 weeks to put the trial off so that we can get to the bottom of whether or not we're going to get that whole message. If the government has to have it in their possession, we need to get to the bottom of this before trial starts. Well, Diddy has now said through his lawyers that they don't want 2 weeks. They want 2 months. Let me show you what I mean. This is dated as of today, April 16th. Dear Your Honor, we write to update
looking
you
for it.
regarding a request for an adjournment of the trial currently scheduled to begin the jury selection, May 5th, 2025. This court ordered that if the defense was considering an adjournment, that they make the application within 48 hours of that conference. We just talked about that. As we noted for the court at the conference, the lawyers, we stated, this is Diddy's lawyers, they're saying, we stated to you, Your Honor, that we might ask for a short 2-week adjournment. We have discussed this multiple times with the government, a possibility of a 2-week adjournment. And Mark Agnifilo is saying,
I don't. I try to. I should. I really should. Like right now, I need to make sure that the live chat replay is even set to on because it keeps getting turned off for some reason. And before the end of the show, I need to make sure that that is turned on. So I'm going to do that right now while you guys.
The government has opposed, Your Honor. We have talked about a 2-week adjournment with them. They're saying no. We spoke to the government today. That's today, the recording of this video today. We spoke to the government today and have requested instead a 2-month adjournment while also allowing, so something's redacted and it's like to allow blank, 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 while also allowing Mr. Combs the necessary time to prepare his defense of the 3rd superseding indictment and resolve victim 4's evidentiary issue. Although the government has argued to this court that the 3rd superseding indictment is encompassed by a previous charging instrument, Mark Agnifilo is saying there is actually substantially new conduct in this 3rd superseding indictment. They just added something new a couple weeks ago, Your Honor. Now we are still receiving new discovery each and every day, as recently as last night. Much of the discovery has been produced on a rolling basis since April 4th, so about a week or so, maybe close to 2. And it was in the government's possession prior to the grand jury returning the 3rd superseding indictment. So Mark Agnifilo is kind of implying that the government's dragging its feet. We note that the court has broad authority to grant such continuances where the government seeks a superseding indictment, which operates to prejudice a defendant. So they're saying that Diddy's saying he's being prejudiced by this new superseding indictment, specifically because there is so much new.
Yeah, we're not going to watch any more of this. I don't, like I just said, I hadn't watched it. So I want to be able to comment on it. I just don't want to sit here and go, whoa, with you guys. So I will watch that. And if it seems like something that we can watch that we need to be informed about as a community or as, for the show or whatever, I will go back to it. Let's see if we can find anything funny. Let's see here. Not too much. I wonder what's going on with Karen Reed. Oh, here's some Lori Daybell
He
stuff.
he was in bad faith, so I see no reason to testify.
Okay. Defendant Aiden Kearney, aka Turtle Boy, Karen Reed's buddy.
Oh wow, he pleaded
pleading
the
the
fifth?
fifth. Does not want to be
What?
called as a witness in her case, and if he is, he's going to refuse to answer all the questions. What does this say about him?
Well,
What does
he
it
did
say
commit some
about the
crimes.
trial that's coming up for her?
So he's
talk
a
about
he's a
this tipping the
podcaster, like a
scales.
radio type personality, and he really came to her defense when she first was indicted, and he's seen all the facts, or seen what she was presenting as facts, and so she came to his like, or he came to her like rescue, and was like, but he did some stalking, he did some harassing, he harassed the prosecutor, he harassed the families of the people that lived in that house. I can't remember their last names, the Butlers, and then there was like another chick and her daughter that he harassed. So him pleading the fifth is probably a good thing. But I don't think he pleaded fifth the first trial. So that's probably why it's new.
Welcome back. This morning, we're shining a spotlight on the Connecticut man allegedly held captive by his own stepmother for 20 years.
Here, let's
This
watch
as he
this
makes
quick.
his first comments on what he says happened to him.
Oh yeah, I
The
haven't seen him
32-year-old
yet.
man who weighed only 68 pounds was rescued from his stepmother's home in February. This after reportedly setting a house fire so that he could be saved. Here's his stepmother on body camera at the scene of the fire.
Who's in the house? Who else is in here?
My stepson is in here.
By the way, I will be on
Yes.
Surviving Together tomorrow
Everybody's out?
evening.
Yes.
I'll
But your
talk more about that
stepson's
here in a
still
minute.
inside.
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay,
Yes.
come down the road. Come on.
Her stepson made his first public comments via Facebook saying, quote, "Please call me S. This is not the name given to me by my parents when I was born, but I will use that name as I reclaim control over my life and my future." The stepmom, defendant Kimberly Sullivan, is charged with assault, kidnapping, unlawful restraint, cruelty to persons, and reckless endangerment. She's pleaded not guilty to those crimes. S is also said to be doing much better and is stronger since his rescue. Let's talk about this.
Me
I
too.
have still with
We
me
will be covering
Chief
it.
Chris Anderson. I want to welcome in now former prosecuting attorney, professor, and author Wendy Murphy. Wendy, let me begin to you. You and the chief are both tremendous advocates for victims. When you hear about the state this man was in, and now he's trying to regain control, I don't even think we can begin to fathom what that looks like. Would you kind of take us behind the scenes and what may be going on in this young man's life?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Sure. I mean, who knows the details? I think we will all be disgusted and shocked when those come out. But what strikes me is how incredibly strong he sounds. That is a young man with fortitude and resilience, and good for him. A lot of children would not have survived with the capacity to make some of the statements he's made. So cheers to him. Really unusual in my experience that someone who's been abused for so long from such a young age has the ability to communicate so in such a, I don't know, hopeful way. Maybe that's the wrong word. But what it reminds me of, and I think for those of us who remember the book, A Child Called It, there is something disturbing about the fact that a child can disappear at age 11 from the public school system after multiple reports to Child Protective Services were made. And in fact, that's why the child was removed from the public school system, was to stop school officials from trying to protect this poor child. He disappears. Perhaps they, filed some kind of
prayers for that
homeschooling
young man.
desire.
Well, he's 31
These
now,
horrendous parents.
His mind is probably the mind of a
but he just disappears and no one's on the lookout. I mean, that is really the scariest thing for me when it comes to homeschooling, that we lose the ability to use government resources like protective services agencies to just inject themselves into the children's lives when necessary to protect them from parents like this.
Right.
It's just so disturbing to me that this still happens today when we know damn well
That is
that a child in danger behind closed doors is a child that we really have a hard time protecting. This is a
wow. That would be a very, very good show to put together. I could maybe do a show like that with Mac. Where's my pen? Wow, that would be an awesome show. I don't think anyone has done that show. I've never seen anything on it. Here we can.
perfect example.
It sure is. Wendy, thank you for that point. Chief Anderson, I would love your thoughts on the point Wendy just raised about how does this happen? Aren't there red flags with people who should be wondering, where's the little boy?
Yes, and Wendy is exactly right. You know, that there should be people advocating for him, and we should be using all of the powers that be in order to find this child. But, you know, usually in cases such as this, the biggest advocates are family members. And what these people do are they start to isolate their children or that person from those family members. And after a while, they just they work to make this person disappear. Now, you know, so that happens in most of the cases that I've investigated where you've had a child that was
Absolutely,
taken away from their loved ones. Or it was specific.
She says this young man deserves having a GoFundMe or something set up where people can donate to him beyond sad and tragic. Yeah, exactly. Not like this Carmelo Anthony getting $500,000 for so he can buy an Escalade and his family can rent this almost $1 million house. And he's, I guess, been on a shopping spree, having all these like Amazon packages. The neighbors have been complaining about the Amazon trucks because it's a gated community. So these Amazon trucks are like just nonstop coming in, making deliveries to him and his family. I mean, that just goes to show where the money's spent. Now, having said all that, I don't know how rich his family is. All I know, these are all new things that have happened since he's got the Give, Send, Go money, since that money has started to come into their hands. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, let's just be honest. I guess, yeah, you could say we're renting this house in this gated community for protection. That does make sense. No one has came out and made a comment about it. One way or another. There's lots of people saying what I'm saying, that it looks fishy, but maybe that is the reason. That would make sense to me. I was thinking about that yesterday. That maybe that's a security team that decided like, hey, let's take some of this money and rent this house in a gated community. That way they don't have to have 24-hour surveillance. That way the media can't get like to the front doorstep. I mean, you guys have seen images of that, or even, you know, video of that, news stories of that, of people just getting harassed right to their front door. So, I mean, lots of that's happened many times that I've seen. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, he was going to a school that is in a community that does have, well, no, he was from another school. He was there visiting to the track meet. That was one of the reasons why he was asked to leave the tent. It wasn't, you're from the opposite school. You're under the school tent of the athletes, the other athletes. You weren't supposed to be there. You weren't allowed to be there. And sorry, I had something in my tongue. So yeah, their personal belongings were there. Not that he would steal anything, but that was just a safe spot for those kids to be. And it was like, I think even if it was another kid from the same school would have been asked to leave. So let's see what's going on.
Specifically, a case where an older lady had been kidnapped by her son. Actually, he was holding her hostage, and when we found her, she was probably, you know, the same weight as this young man was when he was found, and she had been missing for years. But there were people that were still out advocating for him, and that's the whole key behind it. You have to keep advocating for this missing person. You have to keep talking to law enforcement. No matter how many doors close, there's always one that will be open for you. And keep that mindset and that fortitude as you are looking for this person, because his or her life literally depends on your advocating.
Oh, Chief, I love that. Preach. You're giving everybody hope, everybody who's watching this program. And hopefully there aren't that many people who've got a missing loved one, but we know there are cases. We have you both on to talk about them frequently where everyone's just holding out hope. And as you said, keep up the advocacy. Let's go back to S for a moment. Now, I have another quote I want to share with you both from him. He's even older than I realized. So he's clearing up how old he was when this started. So he's saying he's a survivor of more than 20 years of captivity and domestic abuse, held prisoner in his own home from the time he was taken out of fourth grade at age 11 until 2 months ago. He's 31 now. He admits, I purposely set the fire that helped set me free.
Ooh, Francis is going to go
Gosh,
live at some
Wendy,
point today. They're going to do a
thank
press
goodness
conference.
he did, right?
Well, if
I mean,
I'm
I
around
think
my
it's
computer
kind of
or
genius.
iPad,
What do you think?
I will go live to watch
Yeah,
that.
I mean, wow. Where did
I
he
have
get the idea?
their
How
local news.
smart was he? How incredible.
I have their local news station webpage. I have it up on one of my other computers all the time. I was kind of waiting for that, but I didn't know that. So thank you, Grateful. I need to maybe find a different news source. I mean, I have you guys, but that's only in the morning.
Incredible that he had the strategic capacity intellectually, despite what he went through, to be so clever. And you have to be desperate. I mean, this is where the will to live comes from inside of all of us. And if you get to that point where burning a house down is the only thing you can do to help people find you, then bully for you, do it. I hope the word gets out to other abused kids. I have concerns about saying that because obviously anyone who's isolated also isn't going to hear about these sorts of stories. So they're getting the message that these are things you might be able to do. Arson is about as desperate as a child can get. But I say give kids whatever tools they need to get what they need, to get them away from abusive parents in a context where the people who are supposed to be protecting them are the bad guys, and there's no way for police to get inside to help, or protective services or neighbors or anybody. So I just want to say one quick thing, Julie, if you don't mind. One thing that irritated me about the recent news story for this poor kid is that there's a GoFundMe account, which is great. Give him all the money and then some. He deserves a wonderful support system.
Come on, come on. It might just come up naturally, hopefully. Ooh, you guys get to see my algorithm. Ooh. Dang it, I cannot find it. Let me go to that news station. The laptop is in the other. Okay. I have to go to history. Hang tight, guys. If Mariana was home, I could just yell for her to What was yesterday? Wednesday? Oh, it might have been on my legal live wire. Dang it, I cannot find it. It's so crazy. It's not coming up, just coming up on my live. I can hear you. Well, let's read the chat. Okay. The other channel I'm watching shared the wrong press con. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. False alarm. Okay, thanks. I knew I better go look at the chat. Yeah. Hey, Thomas, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming in. Hey, there's Ian too. Haven't seen Ian forever. Yeah, I really love that surprise witness also. Now I want to go back to Court TV. They must not be live anymore. All right. I know I can just hold it down. So, guys, what do you guys got planned today? I am going to hang out with the girls, which is going to be fun. Yeah, we're going to, oh yeah, here we go.
So cheers to him. Really, really unusual in my experience that
Yeah,
someone who's been abused for so long from such a young age has the ability to communicate so in such a, I don't know, hopeful way. And in fact, that's why the child was removed from the public school system, was to stop school officials from trying to protect this poor child. He disappears. Perhaps they, filed some kind of homeschooling desire. These horrendous parents that a child in danger behind closed doors is.
This happen? Aren't there red flags with people who should be wondering, where's the little boy?
In order to find this child, but usually in cases such as this, the biggest advocates are family members, and what these people do are they start to isolate their children or that person from those family members, and after a while they just it makes they work.
So you guys remember those girls that were locked up in Cleveland with the what was his name? Castro, I think was his last name. Have you guys seen the updates on those young ladies? They've mostly have done pretty well. Their speech is, if you listen to their speech is kind of off. And they all have that, just that. I don't, there's just something about it. It just seems young. Like they're, of course their growth was stunted, not only emotionally, but also academically, was stunted. And it's really, I'm sure there's somebody I'm sure like they have therapists and psychiatrists that are like probably working on that, but it is, it's not sad, but it's definitely like, you really feel for them. I guess it is sad. I just don't want to I just don't want them to feel like we're pitying them. It's not pity. It's like just compassion, you know, that we just want them to for the rest of their lives have the most fulfilled life that they can. With this instance, you know, it's a boy, but it shouldn't be any different, you know. Yeah, he wasn't, well, we don't know if he was or not right now, if there's any sexual abuse. I don't think there was. Nothing is like that. Even haven't even heard like a whisper of that, but still, I bet you he has that same speech thing. I bet you if a doctor studied it, they'll probably name it, like for that stunt in growth, you know, that stunt in like mental growth that happens when you're in captivity. I know they do it for prisoners that are, you know, are in 23 hour lockdown. I've been, and this might explain a lot, but I've been, you know, because I've been in riots, prison riots. I've been in disciplinary transfers in prison, and you have to wait in a box 23 hours a day until your transfer goes through. And sometimes that can take anywhere from 6 months to the minimum to, I don't know, 14 months, 15 months. That, you know, and a lot of times it's 24-hour lockdown because when they come for rec yard, so they get to take you out for an hour each day. When they come for that rec yard break, it's like at 4 a.m, and they do it on purpose so everybody doesn't come out because they only have so many cages, so they have to like do it like all morning. Take a group out for an hour, bring them back, and then take another group out. But if you have to be standing at your door at 4 o'clock in the morning, so what they'll do is they'll stand at the end of the range of the cells. There'll be like cells on both sides. They'll stand at the end of the range and they'll be like, sign up for rec. And by the time they get to your door, if you're not standing at the door and be like, hey boss, you know, sign me up, you don't get to go to rec. And sometimes if they're really shitty, they'll make you have to be standing at your door with your bed made. Some places will do that. And, you know, so really you have to foresee them before they come there at 4 a.m. You know, foresee what time they're going to be there exactly and have your bed made. And so what a lot of guys do, because it's what I did, because I wanted to go out and talk to the fellas every morning. I would just sleep on top of my bed already made with just a sheet covering me, because it was never really that cold. Well, one place was Hazleton, West Virginia was cold. But you just like stay covered with your sheet. And then when you hear wreck, you just roll up your sheet and hide it under your pillow or, you know, under your blanket, or just put it behind you or whatever, you know, so they don't see it. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You had to really, if you wanted to go to rec, you had to really want it. And most of us guys did, you know, the check-ins and PCs, they didn't, you know, they didn't go out to rec because, you know, it was just the guys giving them a bunch of shit. But yeah, pretty funny, actually. I don't know what got me started on that. Oh, just being locked up for that long. You know, of course, that's a different situation. We had books. We did have that hour a day that we could communicate with people, but still, you know, just think about doing that for a whole year of just being in that one cell. You do have to switch cells every 21 days, but just imagine just being in that one cell, you know, because it's the same cell. The cell you switch into every 21 days is still the same cell. And they do that so they can search you. So you can't have time to dig out, you know, and escape. You know, because if they kept you in the same cell for, you know, a year, if a guy was really, really, really had it in him to get out, he could figure out a way. He could figure out a way if he had that much time. But you only have 21 days, and that's why they're super strict on it. They're strict on it. You're moving. Some guys say they're not moving. They'll extract you. They'll bring a team in and extract you. And I've seen it 1,000 times. And then everyone else is like going, shit. Now we got to wait for this whole situation to go down because look, you're moving. You are moving. Oh, see you later, Karma. thanks for coming in this morning. I hope my title and thumbnail wasn't clickbait to everyone. I mean, there are going to be some changes, and not only just with the super chats and all those things gone, but just with the content and how I speak to you guys. I'm probably going to talk about God a little more than normal. And I'm probably going to do a lot more news, politics, and the like, but hopefully it's intelligent conversation. I'm just not going to regurgitate, conservative talking points, but I'm going to play some funny stuff too. Like there's like this one show called Lefties Losing It. We'll do that. And yeah, we're just going to do lots of cool stuff. But I really appreciate you guys coming out today. We'll probably end the show early if I don't find something else to for us to dive in. They really talk about Wait, let's watch this about the Karen Reed.
Episode Sunday.
I want to watch the rest of this about Turtle Boy.
Welcome back. This morning, we're taking a look at how a potential witness in the Karen Reed retrial could tip the scales. We're talking about Turtle Boy, whose real name is Aiden Kearney. He's a self-published blogger and arguably the most outspoken Karen Reed advocate. And we learned in court on Wednesday what he plans to do if he's called as a witness by the Commonwealth.
There's really no reason to beat around the bush here, Your Honor. The Commonwealth is not going to call my client, Mr. Kearney, who for the record is in the second row here today.
Can I just ask, if he were to call your client, would he take the fifth?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Brennan, do you agree that Mr. Kearney has a Fifth Amendment right?
I think he has a Fifth Amendment privilege. I don't know that he has a Fifth Amendment privilege to all questions we would ask, but the content that we would go into, I think he clearly would have a Fifth Amendment privilege.
All right, so you're not asking for a Lumen Martin hearing?
I'm not. I think I necessarily would have to delve into issues regarding his open indictments against a number of different victims.
Okay.
And I think there's other information that I can't discuss for other reasons because of court orders.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Judge, I would suggest that the court could take judicial notice of the 16 indictments against him.
So the Commonwealth concedes, and I believe there's a valid Fifth Amendment right.
It's important to note that Turtle Boy is the only...
And those indictments are from the people that he's harassed prior to the first trial.
Witness in the case to take the fifth. None of the innocent witnesses that he is alleged to have intimidated have taken it. Every single one of them has testified, and they will all do so again. So what does that tell you about Turtle Boy? Let's talk about it. I want to bring back in attorney Wendy Murphy and attorney John Phillips. Wendy, starting with you, the turtle's going to hide inside of his shell at the trial. Your thoughts?
That was a good one. Can I refer to him as the turd instead of the turtle? Because I'm trying to be as polite as I can without offending everybody in your audience. And, you know, the words that I'm thinking of using are probably objectionable. He is the most repulsive, harmful, destructive force in this case by far. Now,
Geez, that's a pretty bold statement. She's not lying, though. If I'm honest, she's not lying. Tan Louise from Great Britain asked, what is the fifth? So I'm going to give, please, anyone correct me if I even am a little bit wrong, but basically the Fifth Amendment, I should know this. I have a whole big legal channel that grows leaps and bounds by the day. The Fifth Amendment is if if you are asked a question and if that answer to that question will incriminate you in basically you would be telling on yourself about a crime or about something that by like something that could get you criminally charged, you're allowed to take the fifth, which allows you to not have to tell on yourself. They have to prove, a prosecutor would have to prove a crime, and by you taking the fifth, that's not you admitting to any crime. I know I just said the same thing 3 different ways, but basically that's it. I'm sure someone in our audience will say it in like 5 words and it'll be like more succinct than what I had just said. Right? I think that's why a lot of people have unsubscribed to me too. It's okay. I came up Oscar who looked deeply into the Reed case and basically started a movement. Yeah, he sure did, huh? Perfect Titus. She's from that area, so she could really speak to this. Yeah, he just he went nuts. I remember when all that was going down. I was a lightweight YouTuber at that point. And I was taking in so much information. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just know I wanted to do something. And I ended up just doing, docket content and trials and things like that. But I would just remember it was just too much to take in. Like that was going on. The Murdoch trial was going on. It was just super wild. And I finally found my way, and like, here I am, via Brett Michaels, Brett Miller. Super crazy. Right. Against self-incrimination. You got it right. Okay. Thanks. Surviving Together. Oh yeah. I could have just went right to Mac. She's a lawyer. I will be like a lot of my legal content. I will have Mac on as an expert witness, as an expert commentator, I guess. She's just she's amazing. Okay, yeah, let's hear.
Let's just be clear. I respect that he has a right to assert his Fifth Amendment privilege against
barely
self-incrimination. It's an important
tell by
constitutional
looking
right. But what that means to us in the public is we can and should infer that he is hiding evidence that proves he committed crimes. Let's just be clear about that. Innocent people do
That's
not
obvious.
invoke the Fifth Amendment. Now, let me be clear.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. And that's not necessarily true, Tan Louise. What she just said, innocent people don't. You could be innocent, but the things that you might say could infer criminal activity, or what's the word that was used earlier? It could. It's the same way that we have a right to not answer questions when we get pulled over, right? I don't want to be, I'm not an auditor, a First Amendment auditor or anything, but you have the right to not tell them where you've been and where you're going. It's none of their business, because all kinds of things could happen. Like there could have been a crime that was committed to where you just came from that you have nothing to do with. Now that could give them probable cause to pull you out of your car. And then now, what if you did have a joint in your car in a state that this is a purely hypothetical, right? All kinds of bad things can happen if you do not stick up for what the rights that we have as American citizens. Plain simple. That's just a light example of what could happen. Yes, violation of human rights, not just as an American citizen. Oh,
when
he's
I
a
say
criminal.
innocent, I mean people with nothing to hide. Because as the judge made reference, and you heard it in that clip, if the prosecutor thought that his invocation of the Fifth Amendment was not in good faith, that he was just doing it as an excuse so he could sit in the courtroom and pretend to be a reporter, they would have had a hearing. The judge could have said, I find that his assertion of this privilege is not in good faith. He must testify. No, everyone in the room said, He's got stuff to hide. He's a criminal. He's got massive exposure here in terms of spending a good amount of time behind bars once he's convicted. So absolutely let him take the fifth, but let's all understand what that means.
Yes.
He's done some very bad things in this case. He needs to take the fifth because if he did testify against himself, that wouldn't be good for his liberty. That's what it all means.
Right, right. He'd be in even worse trouble than he's already in. You're right, Wendy. And how about the point? I think this can't be
I love her,
underscored
the
enough.
girl in
That
the middle.
the
She-
reason he's got those 16
she is
indictments we heard
so
referenced
smart, man.
are because he allegedly intimidated these witnesses, these independent people who didn't ask to be part of this case, just happened to be there that night and can offer something. These innocent people, they all testified. They all
The
were
girls are
very
home.
open in trial number one. They're all going to testify again
Leslie
in
wanted to
trial
say hi
number
to you
two.
guys
None
this
of
morning.
them are taking the fifth. And he's accusing all of them of hiding something. John Phillips, what does that say to you about him?
It says a lot. And he did an interview with the Intelligencer. I'm not familiar with it, but he described himself, and I got to look down, as three things. One, an activist. Okay. He said it, an activist. Two, a journalist. And three, an entertainer or satirist. Those three things are entirely inconsistent. You can't be an investigator and go through a case and have objectivity while also being an entertainer, while also worried about your YouTube hits and your social media, bounce. And that's the problem here is he's trying to wear all of these hats and one's interfering with the other. And certainly he has a Fifth Amendment right. And with an open indictment, the prosecutors certainly don't want to go into that and reveal some information that shouldn't be revealed yet. But it creates this conflict. And, again, he's a guy that wears, and markets free Karen Reed T-shirts. That's not objective. He gets exposure and he gets money from her free campaign, and yet won't testify. It's gross where we're headed with social media and podcasters interfering with court.
Right. You're so right, John. I have seen so much
I wouldn't say
more
gross.
disinformation about this case, disinformation and misinformation about this case than I have any other one I have ever covered. This has been the most vile case for so many reasons, and the victim has gotten lost. And I know you both appreciate that so much as you are advocates for victims. And when we think about what this is really about, this trial has turned into a shameful circus. It really has. And when we think about the origination of this circus, who does it go back to? Gee, Mr. Turtle Boy and his friend, Ms. Karen Reed. Now this relationship is being exposed. Your thoughts on how Hank Brennan has now made public what those two kept quiet for so long?
Yeah, really important in this case. And by the way, I know we've been saying the only person who took the fifth was this turd man, but Karen took the fifth too. Let's be honest about it, right? So the two criminals took the fifth.
Jeez.
Who's surprised? Nobody. But one of the important things in this case that we really didn't see last time, we all thought about it, but we didn't hear it from the prosecutor per se in a way that sounded like it was going to make a big difference. Hank Brennan now is saying, part of what's going on in this case is a disinformation campaign bought and paid for by this criminal who thinks that that's a tactic, that, in defense attorney school, one of the things they allow you to do is just pay for PR firms and pay for protesters to show up and pay for bot farms so that social media creates this frenzy and sense that you're actually innocent and it's all a conspiracy. I mean, there are so many mentally ill people who will just buy into that regardless of the evidence. So I think what Hank Brennan's doing is making that part of his case now, saying, not only am I going to prove her guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to prove that she was part of a campaign to mislead the public. So that's a very different approach. I was a prosecutor in Massachusetts. I've never had to do that before, both prove my case and disprove nonsense.
Right.
That is. Hi. That is pretty heavy to what she just said. yeah, because that's heavy. But they have to prove that she gave Turtle Boy information in the background to and encouraged him, which I don't think happened in the beginning. I don't know if it happened in the middle. I didn't follow it closely enough, but I am part of another community that does. Well, I haven't been around them for a while, but because I hired a producer for my legal channel and she was fake, and her name was Amanda. I've talked about her before. Mandy goes live or some Mandy. I can't remember, but she's nuts. Also, remember, guys, earlier where I was talking about the bit, that other platform, BitChute. That's this is Thomas. Who I have the comment up. Go check out his content also on YouTube. Super. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. I like watching it. It's he's fair, honest. He does like these like cool, like cynical parodies, but with truth. Even if it's about me, he's done stuff that at first, when I first seen it, I was like, oh, well, that ain't cool. But then I was like, wait, but it's truth, right? So I can't argue with truth. Even if it's, like negative about me. Yeah, I mean, and not always, but it has been. But does some funny stuff on Scoville and Marissa and a lot of other people. It's not just a hyper focused on one thing. A lot of ex-Scientology stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy watching it. At first, it was hard for me to understand, but once I got the humor of it, then it all made sense, and I was like, okay, man, this is pretty cool. So I've been a subscriber for a long time, and also subscribed to the Skytail, the Neo Slayer last night. But anyways, James Collins cares. No troll of the mods got for this now. I love y'all. Is no trolls, so the other mods got this for now. Okay, cool. Thanks, brother. Thanks, man, for helping out this morning. Precise says it goes back to Karen Reed because Turtle Boy said, "What the f is going on with this case?" That's right. Should have never been charged. Emily D. Baker and lawyer, are gobsmacked. She was charged. I am too. I can't believe it. That's why we are going to follow this new trial. Regarding the Lori Daybell, who was that? Happy Camper. Happy Camper asked, why aren't we covering the Lori Daybell? I started to, but it was, I mean, I could always do a trigger warning, but some people were really, really having a hard time. And it wasn't just one or two. It was a lot of people with her because of what she has done to her, what she had did to her kids, and just the person she is, the religious component of her. And so I decided, and I did a show on this. I decided that I would just do like updates on it. And if everyone was okay, like on a slow day, if I don't really have anything to talk about, might go over there and watch it a little bit. But I know that it's not really fun if I'm just giving bits and pieces, because we might see a piece, on Friday that needs the piece from Monday of the trial to make sense. So it's kind of hard to do it that way too. So probably just going to do like updates, some days and things like that. But that's the reason why. I could do a poll and, have just everyone agree like on those, if people wanted to cover more. I think I did do a poll and asked, and the not to watch one in the poll. Yep. I forgot about that. I did do a poll. I can do a new poll right now. Should we? I'm just going to put Lori Daybell No, I better ask the whole thing in case anyone new comes in. Sorry, I typed really slow. Sounds like Tarzan. Should we cover the Lori Daybell case more? That does not sound good to me. I'm just gonna say, should we cover the Lori Daybell case? Okay, I'm gonna put up a poll, and then of course I always can make the final decision. So, bam, lots of yeses, bam, 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 lots of no's. Oh, I'm just gonna let that run for a little bit.
We're going to hear that in this case.
Wendy, thank you for pointing that out. You're right. He's going to expose it all. He already started, and thank goodness for that, because this is just all about getting to the truth. And Wendy, John, you both, of course, know this. Our courties know. Legally, we know Karen Reed is cloaked in the presumption of innocence. Hank Brennan and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts have that burden to carry. And no one, the jury, can hold it against her if she doesn't testify. Point taken, Wendy, that she's done a lot of talking to interviews of her choosing and not in the trial last time. We'll see if she changes her mind this time. Stand by for that. We'll have to leave it here for now, but great points from you both always. Wendy Murphy, John Phillips, I know you're busy people. We have to let you both go off to court. Hope to see you back here again soon. That is all for this episode of Opening Statements, friends. You can watch it again. You can share it. Go to courttv.com to do that. We put the episodes up for you every day. Just click on the shows tab.
Sorry about that. I went to go get this little munchkin. Say hi.
I don't have school today because I have strep throat.
So, yep, she had strep throat. The trial ended yesterday. Prosecution ended their case, and the chief don't think Lori's going to testify, and she doesn't have any witnesses. Oh, wow. They're not going to present a defense at all? That's crazy. Okay, say hi real quick.
Hi. I want to be your co-pilot.
You want to be my co-pilot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I can't exploit you on the internet.
Wee.
Okay. Okay, but I'm going to be done here in a minute, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll go get your medicine. Okay?
Green tongue, everybody scream green
Is that from strep?
And you know, popsicle, that was green.
Oh, popsicle, that was green. Okay. Will you shut the door, honey? Thank you, babe. I said I didn't want to exploit her on the internet. I mean, I don't. She's probably like, okay. She got it though. She was like, she didn't even argue with me. Yeah. Thanks, Tan Louise. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. Isn't she the best, man? Isn't she the best? Yeah. Yeah, she'll rest. There was something about her. She had some witnesses and things. Remember, she wanted to bring on her dad because he was an insurance salesman, about the insurance policy that her husband that was killed had on. She wanted to bring on, I mean, they were like all family members, but she was bringing them on as experts about things. Or maybe her dad sold the insurance policy to her and her husband. I think that's what it was. Something like that. I watched the pretrial motions, on my own, just, because I'm a legal guy. So, or, a law nerd, so Oh, that's what it was. She sent subpoenas too late. Oh, you could be my co-host, Perfectitis, on the legal stuff. You and Mac. You guys could I could be you guys could sandwich me in and just say how dumb I am about all the different cases that I'm supposed to be following. Yeah, basically bullying. I'm all up in these trials. Yeah, that's cool, man. I did upload on my Legal Livewire channel. I uploaded 6 videos last night, but I scheduled them. And so what I did is I made a template in my software. So instead of doing because I would do like an intro and I would do my commentary and I would do, something in the middle and then something at the end. And I'm not going to do that for that channel right now. I'm going to see how it goes. And I'm going to just see how if the channel just continues to grow that way. Hopefully those videos get views and that'll bring in money, so I can support myself that way too. So I am going to spend a lot more attention on my legal channel, do the morning show, do my little clips during the days for here, the little news clips like I did yesterday with when Carmelo Anthony allegedly bought not allegedly, they bought a new Escalade. They had one and then they bought a new one. So I'm going to do those kind of videos on here, on there. And man, I think we're going to be okay. But man, I was in a funk, man, like what content to do. And I was like, you know what? I am not going to worry about that anymore. And most of it, a lot of it was because of the super chats and super stickers, of what I could say and what, it just, I don't know. It just was inhibiting me. You guys can say, yeah, we trust you. And I appreciate that. You can say, hey, no, we know that that's how you make a living and we want to support that. But for all the reasons I said, the first, half hour of the show are the reasons why I do not want to do that. So yeah, I think we're going to be okay. All right, guys. Well, look, I am gonna get out. I will look into it. I'm trying to do more legal content too. Oh, that's cool, man. That's super cool. Yeah, there's a huge audience for legal stuff, and not only just for the clicks, but it's just a good niche to be in. It doesn't pay a lot, not like it used to. It used to pay a lot more. Last year on the same videos, I was making for the same videos I put out now, and like the view count, I was making like $1,000. But it was a lot of work. I was doing a lot of editing, and but then when the cost went down, the CPM went down, I was getting way more views. So I was still making the same amount of money, getting a ton more views. So now I just want to just grow that channel, like I've been doing for the past 2 years. So, all right. I've been Sam-splaining the hell out of this morning show this morning. I really appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you so much for all your support. Mods, please make sure I think I have everyone's email. And we are going to do a Zoom call. I'm going to try to set that up for this afternoon because tomorrow's going to be super busy. So I'm going to go get my daughter's medicine, get some water for the girls, maybe buy some lunch, and then I will check all my emails and send emails out to the mods. All right, guys, you guys have an amazing day. I am Sam, and this has been the Morning Mayhem Show. Thank you for coming out. Here's to the rest of the... Yeah, I blew it. I waited too long. I was going to say something clever, and I just blew it.
Stay loud. Don't be woke. Stay wild. Stay awake.